Venturing into Hollywood without a speck of acting experience, Jean-Claude Van Damme banked solely on his mastery of martial arts to grab attention, but his relentless pursuit of stardom propelled him into a perilous realm of controversy and self-ruin. The journey is full of bad days. You will not be able to imagine until you hear all those truths. Jean-Claude Van Damme doesn't fit the mold of your typical silver screen scion raised in Brussels, Belgium. His upbringing was far removed from the glitz of Tinseltown. His mother tended flowers while his father managed finances. The linguistic medley at home: his father spoke French, his mother Dutch, led Van Damme to glean English from the likes of animated classics like the Flintstones. Yet, languages weren't his sole pursuit. Brussels-born Van Damme emerged as a polymath of sorts. His repertoire spanning acting, martial arts, filmmaking, and fight choreography, he's heralded for popularizing martial arts in Western cinema, carving a niche as one of the most recognizable action stars in the genre's annals. Every celluloid warrior merits a moniker, but Van Damme harbors a certain disdain for his dubbed muscles from Brussels. Van Damme finds little endearment in the epithet, interpreting it as a comparison to seafood. His sculpted physique and formidable strength distinguished him, though they weren't innate qualities. Rather, they blossomed in response to paternal criticism. Reportedly, Van Damme's father enrolled him in karate classes at age 10, deeming him feeble. A self-described small, nerdy kid, Van Damme delved into kickboxing, taekwondo, muay thai, and weightlifting with fervor, inaugurating his competitive karate journey at 15. Yet, amidst these macho pursuits, an unexpected passion emerged. At 16, Van Damme embarked on ballet lessons, esteeming it both an art form and an arduous athletic endeavor. In his eyes, surviving a ballet regimen equated to conquering any sport. While his contemporaries pursued the hyper-masculine archetype, Van Damme honed his balletic prowess for 5 years. Unapologetic for the divergence, he credits ballet for enhancing his equilibrium, precision, and suppleness, virtues pivotal in his martial arts ascent. The attainment of a black belt in karate achieved at 18 underscored not only Van Damme's technical prowess, but also his spiritual maturation, a prerequisite for the coveted distinction. But his arsenal extended beyond ballet flats and martial accolades. Enter the banana hammocks. In his late teens, Van Damme immersed himself in weightlifting, pushing boundaries to clinch the title of Mr. Belgium in bodybuilding competitions. His eclectic blend of karate, ballet, and body sculpting undoubtedly contributed to his stellar knockout record. Jean-Claude Van Damme amassed an impressive track record, notching 44 knockouts against 4 defeats in semi-contact matches, and 18 knockouts with just 1 loss in full-contact bouts. His dominance was evident when he triumphed over 25 opponents in a grueling 3-day karate tournament, securing the 2nd position overall despite his burgeoning success in martial arts. Skepticism persisted. At the age of 20, Van Damme faced his former teammate, Patrick Teugels, in the Forest Nationals in Belgium. Teugels had previously bested Van Damme twice by decision, with Van Damme managing only 1 victory in return. The odds were stacked against him, the pressure palpable. His entire reputation hung in the balance, the outcome of this match destined to echo through time. Yet Van Damme's victory defied expectations. In a remarkable display of skill, he secured a TKO over Teugels in the very first round, a devastating kick to the nose sealing the deal. It was a triumph for the underdog, a moment etched in Van Damme's memory as his most unforgettable match. With his name rising in prominence within the kickboxing realm, Van Damme yearned for broader horizons. Thus began his foray into acting, a realm far removed from the fighting arena. Despite lacking experience and formal education, Van Damme landed an uncredited role in a Belgian-French drama, a mere extra portraying a moviegoer. It was a modest start, but it fueled his ambition to merge his 2 passions, kickboxing and acting. To bolster his burgeoning celebrity status, Van Damme sought a more resonant moniker, adopting the name Van Damme from a friend to replace his birth name, Jean-Claude Van Varenberg. His sights set on conquering the American acting scene, he embarked on a journey fueled by ambition and determination. Establishing the California gym in Brussels provided Van Damme with a financial foothold, alongside sporadic modeling gigs, aiding in his quest to cross the Atlantic. However, upon arriving in the United States with a meager $5,000 and limited English proficiency, his dreams collided with harsh reality. Struggling to make ends meet, he found himself homeless, resorting to menial jobs to survive. Fortune smiled upon Van Damme when he crossed paths with Chuck Norris, a martial arts legend and movie star, while working as a bouncer. Impressed by Van Damme's prowess, Norris offered him a chance to join his stunt team, an opportunity that would alter the course of Van Damme's life. Seizing every opportunity, Van Damme showcased his skills to a producer, earning a role in the low-budget film Canon International. Despite initial setbacks, his perseverance paid dividends when the re-edited version of the film, Bloodsport, garnered significant box office success. While setbacks and disappointments peppered his journey, Van Damme's indomitable spirit and martial arts prowess propelled him to stardom. From humble beginnings to Hollywood success, his story epitomizes the triumph of the human spirit against all odds. As Jean-Claude Van Damme's star ascended in Hollywood, he approached his craft with utmost seriousness. However, his dedication sometimes led him into confrontations, particularly during the production of Double Impact, where he uncovered financial improprieties by a producer. In a heated exchange with the producer, Van Damme's frustration boiled over, culminating in an impulsive act. He hurled a papaya at the producer, narrowly missing him as it splattered against the wall. This incident showcased Van Damme's fiery temperament, a trait that extended beyond the confines of the film set. His growing popularity also brought him into the orbit of other action stars, forging friendships with some while encountering hostility from others. At a party hosted by Sylvester Stallone, tension arose when Steven Seagal boldly claimed he could defeat Van Damme in combat. Unwilling to back down, Van Damme challenged Seagal to prove his boast, leading to a showdown outside the party. Despite Seagal's bluster, he ultimately retreated, unable to match Van Damme's resolve. Undeterred, Van Damme persisted, confronting Seagal again at a nightclub, where his determination proved too formidable for Seagal to ignore, as recounted by Sylvester Stallone. However, alongside his rising fame came the pitfalls of celebrity life. Like many in Hollywood, Van Damme grappled with substance abuse. Particularly with cocaine, his addiction spiraled out of control, with Van Damme consuming exorbitant amounts of the drug, approximately $10,000 worth per week, or about 10 grams daily. This addiction cast a shadow over his professional endeavors, making him a challenging presence on set. During the filming of Street Fighter, Jean-Claude Van Damme's substance abuse issues posed significant challenges for the production team. Despite being a prominent action star, the producers opted to retain him, hiring a wrangler to manage his behavior on set. However, this arrangement proved ineffective as the wrangler became Van Damme's enabler and accomplice, exacerbating the situation. Van Damme's descent into addiction extended beyond cocaine, encompassing prescription medication misuse and alcohol consumption. His reckless behavior culminated in a driving under the influence arrest in Hollywood, resulting in a 3-year probation, attendance at a driving class, a 90-day license suspension, and a $1,200 fine. Furthermore, Van Damme's personal life was marred by indiscretions, notably his affair with co-star Kylie Minogue during his marriage to his fourth wife, Darcy Lapierre. Despite initially denying the rumors, Van Damme later admitted to the affair, attributing it to Minogue's allure. The complexity of his marital history, including Lapierre's previous role as his mistress, added layers to the scandal. In a shocking revelation, it emerged that throughout his entire marriage, his wife remained oblivious to his affair with Kylie Minogue. It wasn't until 2 decades later, during a public interview, that Van Damme confessed to this clandestine relationship. The revelation of infidelity alone would be distressing, but what's more, she was more than just a spouse. Van Damme's wife fell pregnant early in their union. Following a pattern established with his prior spouse, he abandoned the expectant mother to revel in the nightlife of Thailand while engrossed in filming action-packed movies and basking in the adoration of admirers. Upon his return, there was no hint of his betrayal as he resumed his roles as husband and father for 3 more years until she ultimately initiated divorce proceedings. For many, a 4th marriage would signify the end. Yet Jean-Claude Van Damme had yet another trip down the aisle in him. Jean-Claude Van Damme undeniably possesses charm with the ladies. Thus, it's unsurprising that he's been married a total of 5 times. His history includes leaving a wife behind in Brussels and experiencing a swift marriage followed by an equally swift divorce. Some of these unions bore children, yet at least 2 were marred by infidelity and scandal. It appears Van Damme's appetite for commitment was fleeting, evident in his decision to marry one of his spouses twice. Van Damme tied the knot with Gladys Portuguese, his 3rd spouse, in 1987, but their union fractured following guessed it, an extramarital affair. He subsequently married and divorced the woman with whom he had the affair. Despite this tumultuous journey, he eventually reconciled with Portuguese. The couple remarried a few years later and remain married to this day. To summarize, he embarked on 5 marriages within a span of 19 years. But the surprises don't end. There, wait until you hear about his children. Despite numerous marriages and countless brief encounters, Van Damme has only 3 confirmed children. He shares 2 with his 3rd wife and 1 with his 4th. All his children carry his surname and are carving their paths in the entertainment industry. Regrettably, Van Damme's relationship with his 3rd child suffered due to the acrimony of his divorce from the child's mother, a situation that can only be described as chaotic. Van Damme's 4th wife, Darcy Lapierre, accused him of inflicting severe harm on her during episodes of rage, leading to one instance where she required hospitalization. This incident prompted Lapierre to seek a restraining order against Van Damme, fearing for her safety. In addition to seeking full custody of their 2-year-old son, she demanded $150,000 per month in child support and nearly $300,000 to cover legal expenses. While this behavior was uncharacteristic of Van Damme, there were underlying issues at play. During this turbulent period, Van Damme grappled with substance abuse, reaching perilous levels. He recounts an episode where he became so intoxicated that he endured a harrowing out-of-body experience. Van Damme attempted rehab once, but his stint lasted merely a week at that juncture. He relied on an excessive array of substances just to maintain a semblance of normalcy. He was no longer recognizable to himself. It wasn't just his spouses departing from his life. Van Damme's entire career hung in the balance. During the pinnacle of his success, Universal Studios recognized the potential of the kickboxing prodigy and extended a lucrative offer, $12 million per film for a trilogy. Buoyed by his soaring ego, Jean-Claude Van Damme sought to exploit the situation, demanding a sum exceeding double their initial offer. Aspiring to be compensated on par with Jim Carrey, in his hubris, he overplayed his hand. Universal Studios was taken aback by Van Damme's audacity. Without uttering a word, they dismissed his demands with laughter, before abruptly terminating the call. News of the debacle spread like wildfire, tarnishing his reputation, and doors closed across the industry subsequently. He spent the ensuing decade starring in low-budget action flicks that frequently bypassed theaters altogether. Van Damme spiraled out of control, wrecking cars into nightclubs, courting controversy with paparazzi, and intensifying his substance abuse. Each descent seemed to plunge him deeper into the abyss. Finally, a glimmer of hope emerged. As swiftly as Van Damme ascended to stardom, his fall from grace mirrored it, beset by a string of failed marriages, a decimated career, and grappling with substance abuse and severe mood swings. He reached a breaking point. Seeking solace, he received a diagnosis of bipolar disorder, a revelation that spurred him into action. Van Damme approached his diagnosis with the utmost gravity, embracing treatment with fervor. Suddenly, his tumultuous past began to make sense with newfound clarity. He embarked on a journey of transformation. Armed with a deeper understanding of his psyche, Jean-Claude Van Damme was galvanized to reclaim his life. In addition to addressing his mood disorder, he resolved to kick his substance dependency, eschewing rehab in favor of a cold turkey approach, embracing rigorous exercise as a means to combat both physical and mental anguish. He underwent a remarkable metamorphosis. Remarkably, it paid off. He restored his health and redirected his focus toward resurrecting his career. This time, he was determined to showcase the authentic Jean-Claude Van Damme, a decision that would take a rather unconventional turn. During the mid-20s, Van Damme found himself landing smaller yet significant roles in major productions, such as lending his voice to Kung Fu Panda 2, however. It was his venture into reality television with Jean-Claude Van Damme behind closed doors that truly marked a turning point in his career. The Fly on the Wall documentary, which offered a glimpse into his personal life alongside his wife and children, garnered rave reviews and spearheaded a renaissance in his career. Following a string of low-budget endeavors, Jean-Claude Van Damme reclaimed his status with a standout performance in The Expendables 2, grateful for the opportunity. Especially after declining a role in the franchise's inaugural installment, he relished the chance to immerse himself in high-octane action once more. With a staggering $100 million budget and an ensemble cast of renowned actors, The Expendables 2 stormed the box office, raking in a staggering $315 million worldwide. Jean-Claude Van Damme was unequivocally back in the game. In a gesture of hometown pride, Van Damme's birthplace honored him with a life-size bronze statue, capturing one of his iconic martial arts poses. Touched by the tribute, he hoped it would convey the narrative of a humble individual who rose from the streets, driven by unwavering belief. Further testament to his global impact, Another statue was erected in Azerbaijan, in a village dubbed Van Damme due to its name's resemblance to the action stars. Everything seemed to be aligning for the resilient action hero. But as history often proves, tranquility was short-lived. In 1929, Van Damme encountered a young Ukrainian dancer at a private club in Thailand, an encounter not uncommon in his repertoire of clandestine liaisons. Despite being married to his fifth wife at the time, he found himself captivated and embarked on a covert affair with her. Their trysts included discreet visits to Ukraine with the woman masquerading as his assistant during private functions. Although they endeavored to conceal their involvement, secrets have a way of surfacing. Faced with the imminent collapse of his cherished family life, Van Damme confronted a harrowing choice. Ultimately, his wife uncovered the truth and initiated divorce proceedings for the second time. Despite his genuine feelings for his paramour, Van Damme's priority remained to preserve his family unit, especially considering their prior attempt at reconciliation. In a bid to salvage their marriage, his wife proposed a compromise. She would overlook his transgression, but not without substantial compensation. Among her demands was a lavish new residence, alongside an array of extravagant gifts. Van Damme severed ties with his mistress in 2016, opting to stand by his wife. Nevertheless, whispers of his wandering eye persisted. In recent times, Van Damme found himself embroiled in yet another controversy, this one more intense than the last. It all began when he encountered a woman barely half his age at an upscale champagne bar in Brussels. Their initial chemistry ignited a night of flirtation, leading Van Damme to make advances. Despite her refusal to accompany him home, he persisted, determined to seize the moment. Jean-Claude Van Damme, reveling in his extramarital escapades once again, found himself in the company of another young, alluring woman with years of charming conquests under his belt. His ego and expectations were undeniable. Despite being in his 60s, he remained a paragon of physical fitness and allure. Thus, her rejection fueled his resolve. It became evident that Van Damme was averse to rejection. In a drunken stupor, he coerced his companion into an uncomfortable encounter in a restroom stall. Fortunately, she managed to escape, albeit disheveled and distressed, seeking aid in the streets. Regrettably, this wasn't an isolated incident. Another scandal involving multiple individuals soon surfaced. In yet another instance, Van Damme disregarded the importance of consent, with two accomplices exacerbating the situation. A woman alleged that Van Damme, along with her boyfriend and another woman, orchestrated a deceitful ploy to lure her into a hotel room. Once inside, Van Damme forcibly imposed himself upon her while the others engaged in intimate activities nearby. Despite attempts to curb his vices, Van Damme's reliance on alcohol remained apparent, a crutch he seemed destined to lean on indefinitely. With a repertoire spanning over 65 films and a litany of scandals, rumors swirled regarding his impending retirement. However, not before one final project. Van Damme is set to star in his swan song, What's My Name? An action-packed saga of a man grappling with amnesia post-coma, navigating a path to self-discovery amidst relentless adversaries. The film promises to intertwine autobiographical fragments from Van Damme's life and career, offering viewers a glimpse into his tumultuous journey. This venture into self-reflection isn't unprecedented, with What's My Name marking his third autobiographical portrayal. Preceding his resurgence with The Expendables 2, Van Damme portrayed a fictionalized version of himself in Jean-Claude Van Damme, a gripping tale of a bank heist interwoven with personal and professional tribulations. The reception was overwhelmingly positive, underscoring public fascination with his narrative. As he contemplates bidding adieu to the limelight, Van Damme's retirement plans are refreshingly modest. An individual accustomed to perpetual motion, he yearns for simplicity, a tranquil existence aboard a modest vessel, traversing the globe with loved ones. For now, Van Damme remains dedicated to his craft, maintaining a rigorous regimen and tying up loose ends. His constant companion, Lola the Chihuahua, joins him on his travels, a faithful confidant amidst life's uncertainties. It's a denouement that seems fitting, a departure from the glitz and glamour he once pursued relentlessly. How do you feel about what happened in Jean-Claude Van Damme's life? If it were you, would you be confident enough to register yourself on the list of artistic people in Hollywood the way he did? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section of this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and follow to get more interesting information about Hollywood celebrities.